All right, so get this. We're diving deep today into AI and dating.
AI in dating, huh?
Yeah. We found this opinion piece. It's from Bloomberg Opinion, but it was published on CNA.
Oh, interesting.
And it's saying that AI could actually make online dating less superficial.
Hmm. That's a bold claim.
Right. Like, usually you think AI, it's going to be all, cold and calculated.
Yeah, you'd think it would just be like a matching game based on data.
Exactly. But this article is arguing that it could actually, help us move past all that superficial stuff.
Like all the endless swiping and just the disappointment.
Yeah, all the stuff that makes online dating a drag.
So what are they saying? How is AI going to fix all this?
Well, they actually use the example of, those generic opening lines.
Oh, yeah. How is your Monday?
Exactly.
So how is AI going to fix that?
Well, the article's big argument is that AI could actually analyze all of our data so much deeper.
All right.
And they say it could understand our preferences even better than we do.
Oh, wow. That's a little scary, but also kind of intriguing.
Right. And so the idea is that AI could lead to, way more compatible matches.
So less of those, disappointing first dates.
Exactly. And they actually quote Justin McLeod, the CEO of Hinge.
Oh, yeah, no Hinge.
And he's saying that this could be a total game changer.
Like on the level of when Tinder first introduced the swipe feature.
Yeah, exactly. Like a total paradigm shift.
So we're talking big changes here, but how would it actually work? What kind of data are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, are they going to be analyzing our browsing history?
Well, it seems like it's more about the subtle cues that we give off.
Oh, okay.
Both consciously and unconsciously. So the way we carry ourselves in photos, or the activities that we choose to showcase, on our profiles.
Yeah.
Or even just the language that we use.
Okay, that makes sense.
And McLeod actually calls this the latent signal.
Latent signal. Interesting.
Yeah, and he says that current algorithms pretty much ignore it.
Oh, wow. So they're not even looking at that stuff yet.
Not really. And the idea is that AI could actually pick up on all those subtle hints.
About our personality and values.
Exactly like the stuff we might not even be aware of ourselves.
Okay, I'm starting to see where they're going with this.
Yeah, so it's AI could go beyond just those basic demographics.
Like age and location.
Yeah, and actually delve into deeper layers of compatibility.
Wow.
And find patterns and connections that we humans might miss.
So it's like having a superpowered matchmaker.
Yeah, kind of it's looking for those underlying, personality traits.
Values, emotional patterns.
All that good stuff.
Wow, okay. This is pretty mind-blowing.
And it also kind of brings up this idea of moving from quantity to quality in online dating.
Okay, explain that.
Well, instead of just swiping through hundreds of profiles.
Yeah, we all know how exhausting that is.
You might get a smaller, more curated selection of matches.
Oh, okay. So fewer matches, but hopefully better quality.
Exactly. People who are actually worth your time. I could get behind that.
And McLeod actually says that he thinks this shift is going to feel completely different for people.
Different how?
Well, he says, imagine going from that feeling of endlessly sifting through profiles to a more focused experience where you're really considering a few carefully selected matches.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds way less stressful.
Right. It's almost like having a personal matchmaker.
But one that knows you better than you know yourself.
Exactly. It's kind of a crazy idea, but also kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. It makes you wonder, could AI actually help us find those needle in a haystack connections?
Yeah, like the ones we might otherwise miss.
Totally. And how would it even do that? What are the specifics?
Yeah, how would it actually analyze all this data?
Like photos. Text all those data points.
Exactly. How does it actually identify compatibility?
That's a great question.
Well, it seems like it's a combination of different techniques.
Like what?
Well, they mentioned things like sentiment analysis and natural language processing.
And image recognition.
I see.
So, for example, AI could analyze the emotions conveyed in your written responses.
Oh, wow.
Or the activities and interests that are shown in your photos.
Okay.
And even the overall aesthetic of your profile.
So basically it's trying to create a multidimensional picture of who you are.
Exactly. And it's not just about matching people based on shared interests or demographics.
Right, it's going deeper than that.
It's about understanding those underlying personality traits, values.
Even their emotional patterns.
Exactly. And the idea is that by analyzing massive amounts of data
from millions of users,
AI could identify patterns and correlations that we as humans just wouldn't be able to spot.
So it's like using the power of big data to crack the code of love.
Right. It's pretty wild.
It is wild. It's like, whoa.
So this all sounds pretty impressive, but I'm also curious about like the practical applications of all this.
Yeah, like how is this actually being used in dating apps?
Right, like is this just theory or is this actually happening?
Well, the article actually focuses on Hinge.
Oh, Hinge.
And they say that Hinge is already experimenting with AI in some pretty interesting ways.
Oh, really? Like how?
Well, for example, they're using AI to help users write more engaging profile prompts.
Really? So instead of us trying to come up with witty answers on our own,
Right, like staring at our phones, trying to think of
right,
something clever.
AI is going to like step in and help us craft the perfect profile.
Well, it's more about guidance than dictation.
Okay, so it's not going to write our profiles for us.
No. It's more like giving us a nudge in the right direction.
Let me see.
So McLeod actually gives this example of someone who writes, "I love brunch," in their profile.
Okay, yeah.
And he says that AI could analyze that statement and then prompt the user to be more specific.
More specific how?
Like asking questions like, where do you go for brunch? Who do you go with?
Oh, I like that.
And why is it important to you?
That's a good question.
Right. So it's like having a little AI wingman or wingwoman.
Yeah, nudging you to show your best self.
Exactly. It's about bringing out those unique details that make you you.
And this actually highlights a really important point.
What's that?
AI in dating, it's not necessarily about replacing human connection.
Okay.
It's about enhancing it.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
So maybe AI isn't going to steal our hearts after all.
Right.
But it could potentially help us find them.
It's definitely a possibility worth exploring.
Totally. And it also brings up another interesting point from the article.
What's that?
The potential for AI to actually reduce dating app fatigue.
Oh, yeah. That feeling of burnout we all know too well.
Exactly. Like the endless swiping, the ghosting, the disappointing first dates.
Oof. It's the worst.
So could AI actually help us avoid all that?
Well, the theory is that by giving us these like more curated and compatible matches,
Yeah.
AI could help us break free from that cycle of superficial interactions.
So instead of feeling like we're constantly sifting through a sea of profiles,
Yeah, just swiping.
we could actually focus on a smaller number of potential partners.
Who are more likely to align with our values and goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty compelling idea.
It is compelling. It's like, imagine a world where dating apps are actually about making meaningful connections.
And not just about swiping and hoping for the best.
Exactly. That would be a game changer.
It really would.
Yeah.
It's like it challenges the whole current model of online dating.
It does, but of course it also raises some questions.
About the downsides.
Yeah, like are there any risks involved in all of this?
Totally, because no technology is perfect.
Right. And there's always the potential for unintended consequences.
Exactly. So that's where our deep dive takes us next.
I'm ready. Let's get into it.
So are we ready to like hand over our love lives to algorithms?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
Right, like is this the future of dating?
Yeah, it's definitely generating a lot of debate.
I bet. Some people are probably excited.
Yeah, like take the guesswork out of dating.
Right, like let the AI do the work.
But then others are probably like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, a little freaked out about giving algorithms that much control.
Over something as personal as romance.
Yeah, it definitely brings up those like sci-fi scenarios.
Like love is just a bunch of calculations.
Exactly, but what if we could move past those fears?
Like, are there any actual benefits to consider?
Besides just, not having to swipe as much.
Right. Well, the article actually argues that AI could lead to more fulfilling connections.
More fulfilling? How so?
Remember those latent signals we were talking about?
Yeah, the subtle cues.
Right. By analyzing those, AI could help us find partners who are like really compatible.
On a deeper level.
Exactly. Like not just matching people based on shared interests.
Like you both like pizza.
Yeah, or you both like to hike.
It's about finding those connections that really resonate.
Yeah, and this goes back to that idea of reducing dating app fatigue.
Oh, right.
Because if AI is filtering out all those surface level matches,
yeah,
then we could avoid all those frustrating experiences.
The ones that lead to burnout. So less swiping, more quality dates.
Exactly. Dates with people who actually align with your values.
Now that sounds pretty good.
It does, doesn't it? It's like imagine a world where you go on a first date.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this person actually gets me.
No more awkward silences.
Yeah, or forced conversations.
You're actually connecting with someone.
Right off the bat.
It's like a dream come true.
It's definitely a different way to think about online dating.
But of course, there are also potential downsides.
Yes, there are always risks.
Like, what if the AI gets it wrong?
Well, that's one concern.
What else?
Well, what if the AI narrows our dating pool too much?
No, I see, like, it's so focused on finding the perfect match.
Yeah, that it filters out people who could actually be great partners.
Even if they don't fit our exact criteria.
Right. It's like, what if the algorithm filters out someone
Yeah.
who has a slightly different taste in music,
Okay.
but they share your sense of humor
Yeah.
and your values?
And they end up being your soulmate.
Exactly.
Huh.
You'd never know because the AI was like, nope, not a match.
That's a scary thought.
It is. It's like we don't want to miss out on those serendipitous encounters.
The ones that lead to unexpected connections.
Exactly. Like sometimes the best things in life are the things we don't plan for.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah, between personalization and openness.
We don't want AI to limit our choices.
Or prevent us from exploring different possibilities.
Exactly. We need to stay open to new experiences.
And remember that AI is a tool.
Not a crystal ball.
Right? It can be used in ways that are helpful.
Are harmful.
It all depends on how it's used.
So we need to be aware of the potential pitfalls.
Definitely.
And advocate for responsible AI development.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to the article's main point.
Which is?
AI in dating, it's not about replacing human connection.
It's about enhancing it.
Right. Using technology to help us build more fulfilling relationships.
Not to dictate them.
Exactly. It's a shift in perspective.
We need to view AI as a partner in our dating journey.
Not as like a replacement for our own intuition.
It's about using AI to augment our own understanding.
Of ourselves and what we're looking for in a partner.
Not to just hand over control completely.
Right. It's about empowerment.
Using AI to navigate the complexities of dating.
To make more informed choices.
To connect with people who really resonate with us.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool vision.
It is. It's like online dating, but less stressful.
Less random.
More intentional.
Yeah. And hopefully more successful.
There's a journey.
A journey of self-discovery.
With a little help from AI.
Potentially leading to a future where love is less about swiping.
And more about genuine connection.
That's the goal.
Right. It is. So we've talked about the potential benefits.
The potential pitfalls.
But where do we go from here?
What does this mean for the future of love?
I guess that's the big question. Well, I think it's safe to say AI is going to be a big part of our love life.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Whether we like it or not.
It's already happening. I mean, think about it.
Yeah. All the ways we connect with people online.
Social media dating apps, even video calls.
AI is kind of everywhere.
It's woven into all of it.
And it's just going to keep growing.
As the technology gets better and better.
So it's not about if AI will impact dating.
It's about how.
And that's where things get interesting.
It's like we have a chance to shape how it all unfolds.
To make sure AI is used in a way that aligns with our values.
Exactly. Instead of just, passively accepting whatever comes along.
We can actually advocate for a more ethical approach.
A human-centered approach to AI in dating.
It's about being informed.
Engaged users.
Asking the right questions.
Like, how do these algorithms even work?
What data are they trained on?
And what impact do they have on our relationships?
It's like we're all part of this big experiment.
Trying to figure out how to integrate this powerful tech into something as personal as love.
And the choices we make now, they're going to have a ripple effect.
On the future of dating.
So what can we do?
How do we make sure AI is used responsibly?
What are some concrete steps we can take?
Well, first, we need transparency.
From dating apps and tech companies.
We need to know how these algorithms work.
What data they're using.
How they're making decisions.
We need to understand what's happening behind the scenes.
So we can make informed choices about how we use these apps.
And we need regulations.
To protect our privacy.
Because these apps collect so much data about us.
Our preferences, our beliefs, even our vulnerabilities.
That data needs to be handled responsibly.
We can't let it be misused.
And then there's the issue of bias.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Because if the algorithms are trained on biased data,
they'll just perpetuate those biases in the matching process.
Like if the data set mostly features couples who fit traditional gender roles,
the algorithm might prioritize those matches.
Even if they're not the best matches.
So we need diverse data sets.
That reflect the full spectrum of human relationships.
And it's not just about the data itself.
It's also about the design of the technology.
Like, do these apps empower users?
Or do they subtly nudge us toward certain choices?
We need to maintain our agency.
Our autonomy.
Even as AI becomes more integrated into dating.
It's a delicate balance.
But it's crucial.
Because we want technology to enhance our lives.
Not dictate them.
So ultimately, it's about using AI as a tool
For connection,
self-discovery.
not a replacement for our own intuition.
We can't let AI make all the decisions for us.
It's about using AI to help us understand ourselves better.
And to find those genuine connections.
It's a new way to think about dating,
It's exciting and a little bit scary.
but it has the potential to change everything.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into AI and dating.
It's been a fascinating conversation,
Full of possibilities and challenges.
but I think the takeaway is clear,
Technology is a tool
and it's up to us to use it wisely
with intention and awareness.
and to always remember the human element.
The human connection.
That's what really matters.
So as we move into this future of AI-powered dating,
Let's stay curious,
ask questions,
advocate for responsible AI,
and never lose sight of what truly matters.
love connection, and genuine relationships.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive,
We hope you learned something.
and maybe even had your mind blown a little bit.
Until next time, keep those conversations going.
And keep those hearts open.
Who knows? Maybe with a little help from AI.
We'll all find our huddle happily ever after.
Thanks for listening.